So this week we talked about models of pedagogy, dimensions of pedagogy, didactic pedagogy as a felt subjectively, analyzing didactic pedagogy part 1 and part 2, didactic pedagogy today. So first we talked about models of pedagogy. Sometimes didactic pedagogy is called traditional pedagogy, which is routines, consumption, and recitation of material and memory tests. Then there's authentic pedagogy, which is learner-centered, real-life experiences. And then this is what we use today primarily, which is reflexive and transformative pedagogy, which focuses on problem solving, designing, engages, shared agency, co-designing, making and producing knowledge, passion-driven. And one of the things I thought that was interesting about this was that the students have to invest in their own knowledge and partially be producers of their knowledge. I thought that was a cool idea. And then secondly, we talked about dimensions of pedagogy, which is didactic, which is the Greek word that means to teach. Dimensions of pedagogy, it's a long list. Architectonic, discursive, intersubjective, sociocultural, proprietary, epistemological, pedagogical, and moral. So we broke this down in didactic pedagogy as felt subjectively, and this kind of went as this was talking about some other people that have had problems with didactic pedagogy. Dickens wrote Mr. Gradgrind, and the speaker talked about how he portrayed the teacher as kind of a dragon teacher, which I thought was kind of funny. And then talked about Horrors of School from Winston Churchill's My Early Life, and Yo-Fo Lee's School Days, and Charles Darwin. And basically they all described school as kind of horrific and not getting what they wanted out of school and their education. And then in analyzing didactic pedagogy, we kind of went back to the dimensions of pedagogy, and they broke those down to what they actually meant a little bit more. So architectonic is a space, arrangement of desks. Dispersive means textbooks, lectures, Q&A, recitation. Intersubject, teacher is the center and control of command. And sociocultural was meant to kind of one size fits all, and it was kind of built to promote nationalism, which I thought was cool, how they did that. Pedagogy Part 2, Didactic Pedagogy Part 2, talked about proprietary, epistemological, pedagogical, and moral. And the thing I thought about that was really cool about this part was the moral topic and the dimensions, which is kind of an underlying theme that I didn't really think about when we were going through all this, was that education is to build discipline, social order, and compliance. It builds a kind of citizen, worker, social subject, educational outcomes for an unequal society is one of the top points that he put, which it was put more emphasis on the student and not doing, if they didn't do good, then that meant that they weren't good enough to advance, and it kind of put them into a box of what they could do in our culture. And that kind of rationalized inequality because people that had family members that went to college or had higher education were more likely to be able to do that themselves, and so it kind of rationalized people that were on top, and the people that were on bottom didn't really normally advance. And didactic pedagogy today, um, basically, didactic pedagogy is useful. It makes you memorize and learn things, and you can't really get rid of it, and it's not a bad thing. So.